guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Grace and I am the creator of Satin Aroma Home Fragrance Company. In today's video, I am making inventory for my very first craft show. So I've never done a craft show before, and I decided this year that I wanted to start participating in just more community events to try to get Satin Aroma out there, especially in my local community. And then I also thought it would be a good way to just get out and interact with people. And I love going to craft shows and festivals myself. So I decided, why not start doing them? So I'm about 1 month out from my first craft show. And I decided I need to go ahead and start making inventory just because I don't really know what to expect since this is my first one. So I want to be as prepared as possible. And I can't have a successful show without having a good amount of inventory. So that's what I'm going to be working on today. What I'm going to do is be using these molds right here. And then also I'm gonna use these molds. You guys in my last video saw how I make my Snap Bar wax melts using these molds. So at the craft show, my plan is to have like 3 different things for sale. I'm just gonna be doing wax melts. I'm not gonna be doing candles because I'm still testing them. And let me just give you a quick update on the candles. So I have decided to use coconut apricot wax for my candles. Absolutely love it. Love the cold throw, love the hot throw, love the way that it's a single pour wax. And it's pretty much available at a lot of different suppliers. But wicking candles is just a nightmare. Like it takes a lot of time, a lot of patience, a lot of supplies, a lot of time to figure out the proper way to wick each individual vessel that you decide you want to sell. So right now I'm trying to wick these 8-ounce tins that it's been difficult. I've had some success with double wicking them. I've actually had the most success with double wicking them. However, the tin gets a little too hot. So the fragrance throw is good, like it burns down beautifully and even, but the tin just gets too hot with double wicking. And then single wick, you can see how much wax is built up on the side. I don't like this particular wick series because the larger you go up in the wick size, the bigger the mushroom is, of course. But I love the way that this wick series burns in the coconut apricot wax as far as the hot throw that it produces, but the mushrooms are huge. And I don't mind a mushroom at all, but these are really big. So this is definitely a process trying to figure out the proper way to wick candles. And trying to wick these particular tins has been very interesting, but I'm going to stick with it because I really like these tins. I may go down a size. These are 8 ounces. I may go down to a 4 ounce, but we'll see. So that's just a quick update on my candle making process. All right, so I don't want this introduction to be too long. I'm gonna go ahead and start making these wax melts. Real quick, I am going to, in the next clip, I'm going to show you guys kind of a mock setup that I have for my craft show display right now. I just set it up on my counter just so I can start to see how I will want to display my products at the craft fair. This is an expensive process. One, just trying to buy like the supplies and stuff is expensive. But the vendor fee really wasn't too bad, I guess. But as far as I have to buy a tent, which the tent that I'm looking at is over $100. I have to buy a table, chairs, things to put on my display. It's gonna take some money to get it all done. So hopefully the event is successful so that, you know, I make my money back. But through it all, I must stay hydrated. I already have everything out. Ooh. Wax. If you guys have any advice for setting up at a craft fair, please let me know. Leave a comment down below if you have done one before, whether you sell candles, wax melts, whatever. If you sell tumblers, if you sew your own clothes, whatever. If you've ever done a craft show before and you have any advice that you can help me with, that would be awesome. At this craft show, I am going to be introducing my new rebrand. I've rebranded how many times? At least 3 times. The second time I didn't even release like the new logo because I honestly just wasn't happy with it. Like, I thought I liked it, but the more and more I looked at it, I was like, no, this is not it. And so I stuck with that logo for maybe like 2 months, and that was it. But I have found a really, really good graphic designer that I just love her work, and I love what she's done with my new logo and rebrand and everything. Really good quality work. So I am excited to, at this craft show, sell my products for the first time at a craft show, but then to also release my new logo. So yes. All right. As far as my snap bars go, I think I want to have 10 of each fragrance. So 10 snap bars per fragrance. Do you guys think that that will be enough? I have to go back and look to see how many people are expected to be at this craft show. You know, you never really know for real, but in the past, I'll have to go and look and see what the event sponsor said about the expected crowd size. But I'm thinking for the snap bars, I think I want to do 10 per fragrance. So we'll start there and see. And I think I'm gonna make, okay, this is how much wax I have right now. I've already put in an order to get more wax from the Flame and Candle Company, but this is literally all, I've used like all of my wax. This is all I have left right now. So I had to put in a order to get some more wax, and I'll go and pick that up whenever it's ready, which should be soon. Okay, back over here. So now I'm gonna go and get my notebook that has all of my measurements in there so that I'll know how much wax and oil I need to make the wax melts that I want to make today. So let me go find my notebook. I feel like I need more light in my kitchen. Like, I love light. I love for things to be bright. And even though my kitchen is pretty bright and the sun is out and shining right now, I still want more light. I still want more light. So anyway. I think the best investment that I've made in my business so far was this Presto pot. And I don't even have the one that has the spout or a spout. Right now I'm just using this measuring cup and measuring out my wax as I go. But if you are looking for like something to make your life easier when it comes to making wax melts or making candles, get a Presto pot, or I guess just a regular wax melter or something that's used to melt wax like the Digiboil, even though I've heard that it wasn't created to melt wax, but that's what candle makers use it for. Get something that will help to make melting your wax easier, and this Presto pot has been great. And right now, the size for the amount of business that I do right now, this size is perfect. So that's my tip for today. What we're working with. Look at that wax. All right, let's melt it. Now, as my wax melts, I'm gonna go ahead and measure out my fragrance oil. Let me see how much I need. Okay. For my fragrance oil, when measuring it, especially when I'm doing very small amounts, I prefer to use these little pipettes. If you watched my last video, then you saw me using the pipettes, and I just prefer to use these. Of course, I could buy the little tops that you can put over your bottles that make it easier to pour your fragrance oil so that you don't have so much spillage. But this way works for me right now. But eventually I probably will do that. Ooh. All right, I went over just a little bit. This is why I love using these pipettes, because if I do go over, all I have to do is just scoop some up and put it back in the bottle. This right here is probably another one of my favorite scents. I love it. I'm calling it Silky Santal and Amorous. And it's just a beautiful scent to me. I love it. So I'm excited to see what my customers at the craft fairs, what scents they will end up liking the most. Like, I think it'll be interesting to see what the best sellers will be. Because of course, you know, I have my favorite scents, but what I like could be completely different from what will actually be popular at the craft fair. So I'm interested in seeing what sells the most and the ones that the customers don't like as much. I kind of have an idea just because of the scents that sell the most on my website. I'm expecting for those scents to be popular in person too, but it'll be interesting to see, like, versus the website versus what sells the most online, to see if those are similar, if the scents are similar. All right, so I've got my first 2 fragrance oils poured out. I would pour out a third one, but I only have 2 of these little cups that I measure out my fragrance oil with. I get them from the Dollar Tree, so it'll be easy for me to go and get more, but it's just not necessary right now. All right, so my wax is melting. Now I need to figure out a color for these scents. I think I'm gonna do like a darker green for this. So I'm gonna use the liquid dye. We'll see how that goes. Oil is melting. We're good to go. I mean, this Presto pot is, man, it works fast and it's good. All right, let me go ahead and measure out the oil, the wax. So, all right, my oil's pretty hot right now. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and add in my mica powder. I'm looking for a good hobby, something to do that is pretty calming, pretty relaxing. I would totally recommend making wax melts and making candles. Because it's something that you definitely have to pay attention to and, observe and, really watch what you're doing, because you have to like get your measurements right and all of that. But once you have all of those things like written down and you know how much oil and wax you're gonna use, it's a very like relaxing process to me. So that's why I enjoy doing it, and one of the reasons why I turned it into a business, because I'm like, okay, well, if I enjoy doing it, why not try to see if I could do this as a business venture? And so far I have really enjoyed it. But my favorite part is the creative process of it. So even just like working with different fragrance oils. Ooh, that's kind of dark. I did add a lot in there. But one thing about colorants, like when you add them to wax, it never comes out as dark as it looks. So even though it looks pretty dark in the oil right now, it's definitely going to lighten up. Maybe not a lot, but it'll be okay. It might be like the perfect color that I'm looking for. But yeah, as I was saying, if you're looking for just kind of a cool hobby to do, something that you enjoy, something that's fun but relaxing, and also something that you can monetize, try making wax melts. Candles are a little harder. I'm still working on my candles, as I mentioned earlier, so that's definitely a harder process, but it's not impossible. So yeah, I'm gonna let this cool down before I add in my fragrance oil. All right, so it's almost time for me to add in my fragrance oil to my wax, but I'm gonna go ahead and end today's video here, because I'm just gonna finish making my wax melts, and you guys saw in my last video how I make my wax melts step by step. So if you're interested in learning how to make wax melts, you can watch that video. But as I stated earlier in this video, if you guys have any tips to offer for having a successful craft show, please leave them in the comments down below. And I'm thinking about turning this into like a mini series as I prepare for my first craft show. So if you guys would be interested in seeing that, let me know. And I appreciate you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.